Hello guys, hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Blossom Living with POI. My name is Anita for those of you that doesn't know me, and welcome back to this beautiful, wonderful community that we are building. It's called Blossom Living with POI. So guys, today's video I am going to digress and I'm going to be talking about thyroid from my own experience. I'm going to be talking about the first time I was diagnosed with thyroid. I'm also going to touch base on all the symptoms that I have gone through over the years. So what I've done is I've made a list of all the symptoms that I have experienced so far over the years, and I'm going to share that with you guys. I'm also going to touch base on the first time I visited my GP, my gynecology, and I'm going to talk about the medication that I'm on. I know I've touched base just a little bit on previous video about my thyroid, but I've never really went in depth. So today I'm going to be doing that. So let's get this video started. So just before we start, I just want to make sure that everyone is doing okay and you're all keeping safe during this difficult time. And as you can tell, I'm looking extra glam today. So you guys can think of this as an equivalent of me going for a talk show. So I'm here to talk, share my own experience, and do it in style. Why not? So let's jump into this video right away there. So I was diagnosed with overactive thyroid, also called grave disease, in 2012. And before I was diagnosed, I had no idea what thyroid was. At this time, I had been diagnosed with POI a few years before thyroid, because I do know for some people it's different. It's the other way around. Some people get diagnosed with thyroid and then it affects their menstrual cycle. But for me, it was POI, then overactive thyroid. So at 2012, it was a beautiful day. It was during the summer period, and I believe it was on a weekend. I can't really remember the specific date or the month. So it was during the weekend. So it was, of course, a summer day. So I would put all my drinks. Normally, do during summertime is I put my drinks in the fridge because I like them to be just a bit cold. So I went to the fridge to get a glass of juice. So I drank the juice, and as soon as I drank it, I felt a very discomforting feeling just down here. It was like my I was sensitive to the cold drink. And when that happened, I was like, okay, that's new. That has never happened to me before. What's going on? So I didn't really take it seriously. I did not take it seriously. So I thought maybe, okay, we'll just keep an eye on things and see what happened. Throughout the period of the day and throughout that week and the month, I kept having the same feeling just down here, drinking cold drinks, anything that was cold. And then it got to a stage where I started diluting my cold water with hot water because it became so sensitive. Even while doing that, I was still very sensitive to the drink. And so towards the end of that month, I decided to book an appointment because, of course, you have to do Mr. Google research. So I did some research, and there was a lot of things out there. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to scare myself. I don't really know what's going on. Let me just book an appointment. Maybe it's just so I thought to myself, maybe it's just one of those side effects of HROT. So I booked an appointment with a GP. I went to see a GP. Now, bear in mind, was not having any other symptoms that were out of place. I was still tired and tiredness, and I was moody and stuff. But of course, to me, I would think that's related to the POI HROTs. So I went in and I explained to the doctor what was going on. And okay, so he did some blood tests, and he said, yeah, I think he did ask me a few questions. He asked me a few questions, and at this stage, I was like, no, I've never had that before. That was the first time. I don't know what's going on. And I told him, of course, I have POI, and he was able to see my record and things like that. So he did some blood tests. I do remember he explained a few things to me that they're going to do some blood tests on thyroid, but I wasn't sure what thyroid is. So he did some blood tests, and it took about 3 to 4 days, and he called me and told me that I have overactive thyroid. I was like, overactive thyroid, what's that? It says it's when your thyroid gland produces too much hormones, and then it then just, yeah. So thyroid. So at this stage I was like, okay, what are the treatments, what needs to be done? And I remember that time when he showed me my blood test. I can't remember the figures at all. I can't remember how high my TSH or my T4 was. So my GP then prescribed a medication for me to take. So GP can then prescribe higher dose if necessary. So I believe I did start with the 5 milligram or the 10, I can't remember. But eventually, when I got an appointment with the gynecology, when I went in, my thyroid level was still pretty much high, and they ended up giving me a higher dose. I remember, I think at one stage I was actually on the 25 milligram. I can't remember, but I think I've been on something that's about 20 milligram, and then 15 and 5. Those are the figures. So I've just been talking about thyroid medication. Let me actually show you the medication that I started with that I'm still taking. You all know my medication bag. So let me show you guys what I'm currently on. I think it has my address. Let me just make sure it doesn't have my address here. No, it doesn't have my address, just my name. So I'm gonna cover my last name. So I hope you guys can see that. I'm gonna come as close as I can. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Can you see that? Oh, that's not clear. I'm gonna try and get in there again. Focus. There we go. That's it. But again, what I'll do is focus. There we go. What I'll do is I'll put the name up here, and I'm currently on the 5 milligram of that. I started with a 10 this time around, and then when I went to my last appointment, my TSH was high, but my TG4 was low. So I'm on the 5 milligram until my next appointment, which will probably in the next 3 to 4 months, especially what's going on right now. It's probably going to be longer, but yeah, I just have to remain taking this because I cannot really stop the medication straight away. It has to be monitored, and gradually I would stop. Because I do remember, I think 2018, 2017 and 2018, I remember this medication was stopped straight away, and one of the doctors told me that they shouldn't have done that. It can't just stop you straight away. It's something that's done gradually. So that's what I've been on for the past 7 years. So yeah, let me now share some of the symptoms with you guys. So these are all the symptoms I've experienced over the years. So I do have a small swelling gland. So my gland is a bit swollen. It's not as obvious as others because some people like neck actually it's like swollen, and then some people have really like poking swollen eyes. But of course, my last appointment, if you watch my last video, I was told that my eyes are getting affected, but nothing too serious right now. But the doctor said she could actually see that my eyes are getting affected. And she asked me, how is my vision? I was like, yeah, I can see clearly, I'm okay. But she said it might be getting affected. So I'm just not, like, to be honest right now, to be honest right now, I'm just going with the flow of things. I'm just not trying to stress myself with anything. If she said nothing to worry about right now, I'm not going to worry about it until we get to that bridge. But of course, I'm taking the medication to help. So yeah, a small swollen gland. I was very sensitive to heat, muscle weakness, itchy skin. But to help with my muscle weakness, I'm doing a lot of exercise, like I'm physically exercising, I lift weights. Weakness, I try. Itchy skin, yes. So when my thyroid relapsed again, one of the main reasons I knew it was something, it was thyroid, was my itchy skin. Like I was constantly itchy, like my skin was itchy. I couldn't wear any clothing, like even something as light as this, I couldn't wear it because I was just so itchy. I couldn't wear anything that was too tight. I was avoiding any tight clothing. I was wearing a lot of loose, bagging clothing, but I was still very itchy. Like when I talk about itchy, not just your normal itchiness, it was extremely itchy. I looked forward to actually taking off my clothing at the end of the day. Like when I get home, the first thing I do was rip up all my clothing because I've been itchy all day. Sometimes I would go to the bathroom, take down my clothing just to kind of rub my skin to kind of just relieve the itchiness, like just so itchy. And there is sweating. I was constantly sweating, like heat wave. It's just like hot flashes. It was like hot flash, but you actually see the sweat dropping down. When I talk about sweat, that's what it was like. It's like hot flash, but you with this one sweating, I will actually see the sweat dropping down on me. You know, it was crazy. Weight loss. So I did lose a lot of weight. I lost a lot of weight, but I gained weight while on this medication. If you can tell, my face is a bit puffy. It's not because I'm eating. It's not natural weight. It's weight from that right there that I just showed you, from that med. Yeah, nothing more to say about that. Eye problem. So dry eyes. I was always having dry eyes as well too, but I got it a good eye drop from the GP that I bought. Tired. I was always tired. Hand one is hand quivering. So that was one of the major symptom that I had right from the beginning, but that has stopped. It's not as bad as before. So sometimes what I do is I just put my hand like this and I look to see if there's anything going on. You can see right now I'm okay. It's much better now. But I remember the very first time I was diagnosed, the first and the second time, I had major hand quivering. Like it's just like I couldn't really hold things. Yeah, it was really bad. And then the next one was fast, irregular heartbeat. Yeah, so it's as if my heart skipped a bit. So sometimes I could just be lying on my bed, just I'm chilled and relaxed, and then I could just hear it's as if my heart is about to fall out of my chest. So yeah, so my heart skips like a bit. So hand fast, irregular heartbeat. And then sometimes I have difficulties swallowing food or my own saliva. Like I find it difficult to swallow some certain food or saliva sometimes. It's as if it's so difficult I have to breathe in like before I can actually swallow just my saliva. I find it really difficult sometimes. That's one thing I've noticed. And then feeling cold and sweating at the same time. That's like the worst thing ever. You're cold, but you're sweating at the same time. What are you supposed to do? You know, you're wearing the lightest clothes already. You're not, and then you're cold and sweating at the same time. I don't like that. When that happens, because I remember in January or February, I was going through major hot flash and sweating, and I was wearing knee skirt to work with no tight because I couldn't wear any tight. I just felt very irritated. I couldn't wear tight. I couldn't wear high knee boot. I needed some fresh air. So I wear like knee length skirt and I just expose my leg while everybody's wrapped up, one cozy coat. I was sweating and cold. I was cold and sweating at the same time. So yeah. So I still get sore and irritating throat. So I still feel very irritated uh here sometimes. And just your normal mood change. Like seriously, I noticed my mood as well during that time frame. Like your mood is just, you just feel very depressed and your mood change is just really bad. Oh, and I forgot to mention one thing, acne. Yes, if you've seen my previous video, you see how bad my face was, like really, really bad. Like I got really bad acne for a long time. But it's gotten better because I now have a routine that I adapted last year that I've been doing, and it's really, really helped me with my acne, to reduce the acne as well. So maybe sometime in the future, I might show you guys some of the products that I use. Uh, so, guys, that's really all the symptoms I can think of that I've written down. So what I'll do is I'll put everything down on the description box for you guys. And at one stage, I did actually say to my GP, I was like, what happens if I just leave it untreated? Because all these symptoms are really killing me. And then on top of POI symptoms, what are you supposed to do? I'm only one human. I'm only one person. So I was like, what happens if I leave it untreated? Do I need to actually treat it? It was like, and he said to me, if you leave it untreated, it can cause serious problems to your heart, your bones, your muscles as well too. And also it can affect your menstrual cycle. But like I said in the beginning, for me, it's different because I was diagnosed with POI before thyroid, but for some people, it can actually affect their menstrual cycle if left untreated. That's really my story with thyroid. Oh yes, one more thing I'd like to share with you guys is this. Let me get this. So if you've seen my last video that I uploaded, and you saw that I went for my appointment with the gynecology for my thyroid. And what I did is the last time I went, I got him to print out the result for me. So I'm going to share that with you guys. So it says here that my TSH, it's 10.70, so that's high, and it's supposed to be between 0.2 to 4.2. So right now my TSH is high, and then my TG4 is 9. So my TG4 is currently low. So it's supposed to be between 12 to 22. That's what it has in there. If you can see that. It's probably not clear enough to see that. If you can see that, but if you can see that, that's what I have here. So right now, and oh, that's not clear. Let me fix that. That's much better. So right now, TG4 is low and TSH is high. I had a look at my previous, not the previous, but I did see that there was a time where my TSH was 48 point something. That was really high. I didn't see the previous TG4. It's just a I didn't see the previous TG4. It was just a TSH I saw was 48 something. It was really high. But right now I'm on 10.70, which is high, and then my TG4 is 9, which is low. So that's why I'm taking the 5 milligram of my meds to try and bring everything back to the level it's supposed to be. So I'm hoping after a few months, towards the end of the year, that my thyroid will be back to the normal level, and I just hope it does not relapse, because I will try and avoid doing surgery or any kind of radiotherapy, because I'd rather not do any of them. But like I said, I'll get to that bridge when we cross that bridge. I'm just trying not to overthink, not to stress about anything right now, because it's just stressing and overthinking does not do anything more. It just makes things worse. It's hard, but I'm just trying to do that as much as I can. And then there are other things here as well. So for example, it talks about my total protein, my ALT, my AIK, my MDRD. I don't know what those are, but they all seem to be on the right level, so which is good. It was just the thyroid one that was out, but we know why. So guys, that concludes the end of this video today, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to also share your own experience with me with your thyroid journey, definitely do that. You can leave a comment below, or you can send me a private message to YouTube. I believe you can do that to YouTube, or go to my Instagram and send me a message. Like, I'm always interacting with people through Instagram. It's amazing how people reach out to me, and we just kind of like just talk about, like, share experience, different symptoms, what you're going through, how long you're doing this. And I love doing that. So definitely, send me a message and let's chat. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys.